Worst situation Ohio has been in.
Straight ahead on what's new, 29 counties in the red statewide. Hardly any of the state is yellow. This is not the state map we want to see. What today's numbers mean and a stern warning from Governor DeWine.
Dueling events, both presidential candidates holding town halls tonight rather than facing off for a debate. The message each will use to connect with undecided voters. Herd immunity, we hear so much about it. Monica Robbins explains what it is and why it may not be a solution to this pandemic.
It's like having a golf course that can't find golf balls.
Getting creative during a can shortage. What a local brewery is doing to get its Christmas ale into stores and how you can help. And what's new in dining? We are live at a restaurant that is debuting greenhouse dining as they get ready for those cold weather months. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and welcome to our Thursday edition of What's New. I'm so glad you could join us alongside Tiffany Tarpley, virtually, who's in for Betsy today. I'm Jay Crawford. Tiffany, great to have you in again.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you, Jay, live from here at home. And we have so much that we have to get to today. And we are starting with developing news. Today is Ohio's worst day for new coronavirus cases during the pandemic. We want to show you this map here. Our state is now covered in red and orange. Only 7 counties remain yellow, while 65% of Ohioans are living in a red county. So here are the numbers. 2,178 new cases were reported in just the past 24 hours. Now, that is well above the 21-day average of 1,338 cases. Today, we broke the record that we just set yesterday, Jay.
Certainly those numbers going in the wrong direction. Tiffany, our daily positivity rate ticked down slightly, 0.3 of a percentage point, but still at 5.4%. That is slightly above the WHO's recommended threshold. Our number of COVID-19 patients in Ohio hospitals down 1 today, but still more than 1,000 patients statewide are in hospitals. And here's an interesting statistic about deaths. There were 5 deaths reported today. That's down 11 from the 16 we had yesterday. For the past 7 days, Ohio has had a total of 55 deaths. That is the lowest 7-day total since March, when we had our very first coronavirus death here in the state. Remember, though, deaths tend to lag a few weeks behind cases, so we'll need to watch these numbers very carefully over the next month. Laura Queso monitored the governor's news conference today. Laura, a lot came out of this. What were the highlights?
Well, the governor's tone, Jay, showed the seriousness of the spread. I mean, we are breaking records, and not the way that we want to break records. 29 of Ohio's 88 counties are now on red alert, the state's second highest warning status for coronavirus. Okay, so look at this map. It is covered in red and orange, some yellow there on the side, and this is not good news. The numbers are going in the wrong direction. 13 new red counties were added just today. The governor announcing Summit and Cuyahoga County have returned to a level 3 coronavirus advisory.
Virus is spreading throughout your county quickly, and everyone is at risk, really, of catching it. Let's look at some examples. In Cuyahoga County, they have seen a significant increase in daily outpatient visits. In just 10 days, outpatient visits, they were averaging 187 cases per day. Outpatient visits, now 445. So from 187 to 445 within a period of 10 days.
It's quite a spike. Portage County, Stark County, and Mahoning County remain red as well. DeWine said that while schools have done a good job of helping mitigate the spread, social gatherings outside of school have helped to spread the virus. Additionally, DeWine said that county health commissioners have noted that there has been less mask compliance recently, which he's saying, of course, is a big problem here. Now, the question was asked again today, could there be more lockdowns this winter? The governor said he doesn't have any plans for now, but I'll have more on exactly what he said. That's coming up for you at 6, Jay.
All right, Laura, we look forward to more at 6. Now onto your feet at 5. We are just 19 days from Election Day, and we're continuing to answer questions that you may have about the voting process. And we know many of you have a lot of questions. Today, we're looking at just a few of your concerns. The first deals with how many poll workers are still needed by the state. The other is about absentee ballots being mailed late. Brandon Simmons joins us now. Brandon, what did you find out on these two issues in particular?
Hi, Jay. Everyone is watching this election very closely, and the voting process itself is under heavy scrutiny by officials and our viewers. So a viewer sent us this message saying she reached out to the Summit County Board of Elections September 2nd and hadn't heard back despite hearing that there's still a need for poll workers. So we reached out to Summit and Cuyahoga counties who say they're still interviewing candidates but are on pace to meet poll worker goals. That means some applicants may not have received a response yet. Here's the status in Cuyahoga County.
We're almost full. We've got about 1% openings, and about 80% of the people that are going to be assisting voters on election day have been trained. And we're going to hire numbers that exceed our goals.
Now, we've also checked out an issue where 14,000 Summit County residents are still waiting for absentee or mail-in ballots. The issue stems from a Cleveland-based printer, Midwest Direct. That company was contracted by 16 different counties across the state and were simply overwhelmed by the number of ballot requests. Now, in a statement today, Midwest Direct said employees are working 16-hour shifts to make sure voters get a ballot in time to cast their vote on time. And the company and Secretary of State Frank LaRose have also been in daily contact with one another about the process to make sure that happens, Jay.
Yeah, I'm Geauga County. You can put me on the list. Still waiting to receive my absentee ballot. Hasn't come yet. We're running out of time. Brandon, that's great information. Thank you. We appreciate it. Well, there's a lot of information out there about this year's election, and we know you have a lot of questions. What we've done is made it easy for you to get those questions answered. We put it all in one spot. You'll find it on our website, WKYC.com. You can get it sent directly to your phone by just texting the word VOTE. Text the word VOTE to 216-344-3300. Again, text, do not call that number, for your 3 News voter guide. Tiffany?
We have some breaking news for you, Jay, from the campaign trail. A worker who was on former Vice President Joe Biden's plane during a trip to Ohio this week has tested positive for coronavirus. Now, the Biden camp says the worker didn't even have what they call passing contact with the Democratic nominee. Meantime, both of the presidential candidates will be competing for our attention tonight. They're going to be hosting 2 separate town halls. Here's Mark Namick with the details.
The second debate scrapped when President Trump refused to participate in a refashioned virtual one after testing positive for coronavirus 2 weeks ago. Joe Biden announcing plans first to hold his own town hall in Philadelphia, ABC News offering to televise it. Trump then making plans to host his own in Miami, the location of the canceled debate, NBC agreeing to air the event at the same time as Biden's. Biden's campaign making news today, announcing running mate Kamala Harris is canceling campaign stops this weekend, including an in-person event in Cleveland after 2 people involved in the campaign tested positive for the virus. Though campaign officials say Biden and Harris had not been in close contact with either person and have tested negative. At an Iowa rally overnight, the president talking about his battle with the virus, sharing new details about his symptoms.
You're at a 101 or 102, and then you say, I don't love this. You haven't had a temperature in years. And then all of a sudden you have it.
Harris pledging Biden's all in for the next debate next week.
You know, I mean, he just changes his mind every day. Who knows what he's going to say? But Joe's been clear. He's keeping his promise.
With 19 days to go before election, both campaigns are focused on battleground states like Pennsylvania and Florida. And in the latest NBC Wall Street Journal poll, Biden leads the president by 11 percentage points. Though in Ohio, state polls show the race is neck and neck. I'm Mark.
Something we'll definitely be watching tonight, and you can watch President Trump's town hall right here on NBC starting at 8 o'clock. Former Vice President Joe Biden's town hall will also begin at 8 o'clock. That's on ABC. Then you can watch What's Next with Russ Mitchell and Sarah Shookman on 3 News at 11 for a breakdown of both town halls. But you don't have to wait that long to see our own Russ Mitchell, of course. He is here now with more on today's big stories. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Tiffany, good afternoon to you. And we've got some economic news for you this afternoon. New unemployment numbers show the economy is still almost 11 million jobs short of recovering the 22 million jobs we lost when the pandemic hit. The Labor Department says employers still are not confident in their businesses or the economy to ramp up hiring. The Senate Judiciary Committee has set an October 22nd vote, that's next Thursday, 1 week from today, to recommend approval of Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court nomination. The full Senate will vote the next day. Barrett testified for 2 days before the committee. And Cuyahoga County's annual Father's Walk at Schools took place virtually today. Typically at Father's Walks, dads spend the morning walking their child to school, then taking part in some activities with the students. But because of the pandemic, it was moved online, and our Brandon Simmons was the MC of the Zoom event. It's pretty cool. I missed walking my kids to school. My youngest, though, is at that age where she would say, "You can walk me, but you got to stand back there." So it happens.
Right. I get that, right? And it's so good to see, fathers being recognized for all of the hard work that you all do. So thank you, Dad.
Very cute. Thank you so much, Tiffany. See you later.
There is a shortage of aluminum cans, but it's not stopping one local brewery. We'll tell you how they're getting creative to keep their beer on store shelves and how you can actually help.
Stronger than the pain, we'll never break.
Did you see this one last night? Ohio native and singer John Legend performed a very powerful tribute. We're going to have all the information behind it. And of course, Matt Standridge is in for Matt Wentz with everything you need to know about this weather. A bit of a jury day right now.
Hey Tiffany, it's been on the gloomy side today with the clouds and the showers, and it's been turning colder thanks to that cold front. We're going to let you know how low the temperatures are going to get tonight and also when the rain will end. That's all coming up. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to What's New. I love this graphic 2020 with the rolls of toilet paper. We've seen all kinds of shortages, toilet paper, cleaning products, even meat shortages during this pandemic. Now, believe it or not, there is an aluminum can shortage. And listen to this number. I had to check it to make sure it was correct. Industry insiders say that the United States could be facing a shortfall of 10 billion with the B cans this year. 10 billion can shortage. forcing small breweries like Royal Docks Brewing in Canton to get creative. Austin Love shows us what they're doing to make sure their Christmas ale gets out the door in time for the holidays.
At Royal Docks Brewing in Massillon, Christmas is brewing.
The rosemary that actually goes into it is one of the key things that makes it stand out from all the other Christmas ales.
Today they're canning their fan favorite Yuletide Christmas ale.
It's a good thing to get into the time of the year. 'Tis the season, right?
But unfortunately, this season's unlike any other they've ever seen.
It's an existential crisis.
The crisis? A global aluminum can shortage.
It's really bad.
Just in the U.S., there's a shortage of 10 billion aluminum cans.
85% of our beer goes into cans.
The factors at play: more people buying in bulk.
It's real easy to buy a 30-pack of cans. It's not real easy to buy a 30-pack of bottles.
Aluminum tariffs that have raised prices, and the addition of a booming seltzer industry. All of these crippling small breweries like Royal Docks.
It's like having a golf course that can't find golf balls. What do you do?
So when cans started to run short, Royal Docks, they had to get creative. So they had to use unused, pre-labeled cans, repurpose them with a brand new label.
That's all we can do is get creative, use the resources that we have. We're lucky that we're savers and we have those brands. So that saves us a little bit if the retailers play ball, if they don't look at that package and say, that's not really something I want on my shelves.
So as Royal Docks scrounges for cans?
Anything. If you have a bag of can bodies, I'll take them.
Their hope this holiday season:
the can may look a little odd, same great beer in the can.
Don't judge a beer by its wrapping.
And now you have a collector's item. You can show it to your grandkids and say, back in the day when there was a pandemic, this is what brewers did.
Great story, Austin. Okay, so Tiff, here's my takeaway from that story. This is all White Claw drinkers' fault. That's what I'm taking away from it.
You think so?
Well, that's what they said. They said that the increase in those kind of beverages has led to this worldwide aluminum shortage. Who knew?
Something tells me that you must not drink White Claw.
I personally do not, no. But I know many people that do.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it on those of us who do. I wouldn't blame it on those of us who do. For some reason, when you introduced this story, I really thought it was going to be like beer in a box. That's what I was waiting for. Beer in a box. But
yeah.
that one just, it kind of blows my mind, using old used cans.
It is. It's really bizarre. When you think about that number, though, a 10 billion can shortage here in the United States, that's a stunning number.
And I think the longer we're in this pandemic, the longer, that bigger that number is going to get.
Most likely, yeah.
All right. Well, this is that type of day, right? It's kind of gloomy. You might want to be in the house. You might crack open a cold one, at least when you're done with work. Matt Standrich is in now for Matt Wentz. And Matt, this is one of those days where I enjoy working from home because I don't have to be out in that gloomy mess.
I know, you look out the window and you think, nope, not today, and you turn it right back around. But today you'll have a cold one, and then later tonight you'll want a warm one because temperatures are dropping pretty significantly across Northeast Ohio, and we're going to have a cooler end to the week as we press towards the weekend. So temperatures are dropping right now. We just had that front roll on through, and we'll continue to feel the effects of that for the next couple of days, although there are some warmer signs for next week. So that's some good news. Right now we've already dropped to low 50s in downtown, some 40s, what you had a little bit west of town. Elyria 49, 48 in Mansfield, and most of us are sitting in those low 50s and upper 40s. And then on top of that, you have these chilly rain showers. Everyone's getting the rain right now. We have some rain showers anywhere from Erie County, south and east to Carroll County. Now, most of us have picked up about a 1/10 of an inch of rain, so we're not talking about heavy rain here, but it's just enough to make everything wet and kind of gloomy, like Tiffany was just saying. There's that front. It's pushing through Northeast Ohio right now, headed towards Pennsylvania, and will continue to dive throughout the next several hours. So over the next several hours, your patio forecast, a bunch of red X's, right? Probably not the best patio weather as temperatures are going to be dropping continually lower and lower into those 40s with plenty of clouds. You're not going to really see the stars tonight thanks to those clouds and those showers. But the good news tomorrow will be, even though it's going to be a lot colder thanks to this front, eventually we're going to break up the clouds, get a little bit more sun. However, watch out for a few showers next to the lakeshore. We may have some lake effect rain showers, especially towards Ashtabula and Geneva, so be on the lookout for those. If you headed towards the lakeshore, the winds Will be a little bit calmer tomorrow, but still out of the west between 10 to 15 knots. Like temperatures continue to drop this time of year. We're in the low 60s right now. So here's that National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Let's walk through it this evening. You're trying to plan the rest of your Thursday. There's that front. It continues to press east. Now, as that presses east, the rain also presses east. I think by midnight we'll start to dry out from Cleveland westbound, and then by the time we get to sunrise tomorrow morning, there could be a lingering shower or two, but the majority of the rain will push out. Holly's going to help you get out the door tomorrow morning with some of these showers, but I do think by tomorrow afternoon, other than a stray lake effect shower, we're going to get some sun. It's going to be cool though. Some of us may barely get to 50 degrees tomorrow, so it's going to be chilly overall. And I think overall we should be on the drier side this weekend, and notice that bump in that temperature. We'll be looking forward towards that. But watch out for the rain tonight. You're looking at your Universal Windows Direct forecast, a little bit of a climb into the weekend, back into the 50s, and maybe some low 60s by Sunday. And then this time of year, guys, we get so many swings. So some days it's going to be warm, some days it's going to be cold, and that transition is going to be pretty stiff here overall. There will be more chances for rain next week. But Tiffany, tonight, really no promises of any kind of warm weather tonight. It's going to be chilly, but we will get some sun tomorrow.
Definitely hot chocolate tonight. And Matt, it was really interesting to see 70s in your forecast. I mean, could we be seeing a trend of that continuing maybe?
Well, Tiffany, right after that 72, once we show that 10-day forecast tonight at 11, it drops by about 30 degrees. So I would save that for later.
Of course. I knew it was coming. Something told me. All right.
Always
Thank you,
does.
Matt. Well, still ahead on What's New, we have that heartfelt performance from John Legend after his wife's miscarriage, plus the other big moments from last night's Billboard Music Awards.
Then this beaver is one determined fella. We're going to tell you all about it in our Worth the Watch. He refuses to quit.
A big night for music and emotion, and a serial killer returns to TV. Here's today's Pop Break. It was a Billboard Music Award show like no other last night in Los Angeles. Post Malone was the big winner with 9 awards, including Top Artist. Garth Brooks received the night's Icon Award, and the show honored Eddie Van Halen with his performance of Panama from the 2015 awards. The most touching moment of the night, though, hands down, was John Legend's musical tribute to his wife, Chrissy Teigen.
As the water rises and the mountains shake, all love will remain.
Legend performed the song Never Break and dedicated it to Teigen. The couple suffered a miscarriage 2 weeks ago.
The most important thing for you to do to affect change? Vote.
Let's go, people. Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it in the box, drop it in the box. Snoop Dogg has partnered with Democrats for his spoof of his tune, Drop It Like It's Hot. The video is running on social media and on Hulu and YouTube in several battleground states. The push to use ballot drop boxes come after concerns after whether the Postal Service can handle the surge of absentee ballots. And everyone's favorite serial killer is making a comeback. Michael C. Hall has reportedly signed on for a 10-episode return of Dexter. Production starts early next year with hopes of a fall release date. And so, Jay, October is National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And so, you know, I got a chance to watch some of that performance today online after it was posted.
Yeah.
I think it's important for these moments, right, for everyone to see them and everyone to know that, you know, they don't necessarily, they are never going to break, right? That's the name of the song.
Yeah,
but
it's beautiful.
Most importantly, that these families know they're not alone.
That's absolutely right. And back to your story on Snoop. So here it's 2020, and think about this. Think about the rappers who are front and center on the political stage. Kanye is on the ballot as an independent in some states. Snoop is working with the Dems on this ad. And this week, Ice Cube announced that he is working with the Trump administration on his contract for Black America. So it's interesting, 2020, and you've got these big-time rappers very involved in politics.
Yeah, and I think it's important, right? I mean, you know, they have so much influence within these communities, and to be able to reach the younger people and even some of us who aren't as young, right? To let them know that your vote matters, your vote is powerful. I think it's a great thing.
Absolutely. Well, it is time for our Worth the Watch video, and these beavers actually are living in a rehab facility, so they're fed every day. They were each given carrots, but this guy decides he's just going to haul as many as he possibly can. So he fits 3 in his mouth, and he starts to go back to where he wants to consume these things, but he keeps dropping one. But man, this guy, he is a determined beaver. Just keeps going back to get the 3rd carrot to make sure he has plenty to eat once he gets all by himself.
How cute is that? Gotta love the determination with that one, right? How
Absolutely.
Cute.
Love it indeed. Still ahead on What's New, our Monica Robbins is going to join us live to talk about herd immunity. You've heard about this. What is it? And is it a good way to fight COVID-19? Monica with all the deals on that. Then a new restaurant in Cleveland is getting creative to keep people socially distant, warm, and outside as they dine during these winter months. We're going to show you what's new at Bet's Restaurant. Then Halloween crafts with a learning lesson. Sounds interesting. We're going to tell you all about it. How you can make spider webs out of marshmallows. For real. It's all coming up on What's New. Stay with us. We're back after a quick break.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back to What's New with Tiffany Tarpley. I'm Jay Crawford. We are a day away now from the weekend, so that's certainly good news for all of us, Tiffany. I think we can all use whatever shred of good news we can find.
Right, and it's, Friday is one of the best days of the week, I think. The best.
It is,
so
without
definitely
question.
Looking forward to it.
It's my favorite day of the week. All right, as we turn to the bottom of the hour now, our top talker this half hour, herd immunity. We have all heard that term throughout the pandemic as a possible way to fight the virus. Some think it's reasonable to go about it that way. Some say no way.
Well, to break it all down for us is our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins. And Monica, we want you to break down what herd immunity is for everyone.
Well, herd immunity, guys, is usually referenced regarding vaccination rates. When most of the population has a vaccine to prevent a disease, that essentially stops a disease from spreading and protects those who are not vaccinated. Now, when you refer to natural immunity, meaning you've been infected and developed antibodies to keep you from getting sick again, that's where it gets complicated. And with COVID, even more so, because we don't know how long immunity even lasts with this virus, and we don't know how sick you have to get the proper response. And as of right now, we're a long way off from being at a level to even achieve herd immunity naturally.
Talking to infectious disease experts across the world, they're saying it is not possible at this point because right now the infected rate, the amount of people that have had it and recovered from it, is around 10%. To get herd immunity, you need to be at least above 60%, probably even closer to 70 or 80%. So we're not even close to having herd immunity at this point.
So bottom line, according to the World Health Organization and other infectious disease scientists, letting the virus run its course has never been an ethically sound argument when you're dealing with a pandemic, especially one that can put lives at risk, because those young, healthy people who may survive it may also spread it to the most vulnerable. So bottom line, Jay, that's what everybody needs to know. And according to the World Health Organization, this is not something that we really want to mess with right now.
Yeah, I saw that the World Health Organization is using that number 10%. About 10% of the world's population, they believe, through testing for these antibodies has it. Monica, if that's true, that's 780 million people that have had it.
Yeah, on a planet with 7 billion. So, I mean,
Right.
You got to look at it, you got to put it in perspective. I mean, in this country alone, we have almost 8 million cases right now, but we have 300 million people in the country. And even if you times those cases by 10, which the CDC said could be potential, you're still talking 80 million out of 300 million. So you're the stats guy. You know how it works. And I think right now, natural immunity, when we don't know how long this is going to last, it could be like the flu. That's the reason why the flu virus is always mutating, so we need to get a new flu vaccine every year. This virus could be doing the same thing. We already know it's mutating, so that immunity you may have this year, we don't know yet if it could even translate to next year.
Exactly.
Those are the big questions, which is why they're saying, let's hold off on that for a little bit. Let's get an effective vaccine in the market.
It is the stats guy in me that looked at that number. If it's 10% and that's 780 million people worldwide that have had it, and the death count is over 1 million, that makes it a fraction on the mortality rate of what we thought it was. Just trying to piece those parts of this puzzle together. And I know that the WHO has said that mortality rate actually is much lower than what we think it is right now.
Right, but if you think about it too, I mean, at least in Europe and in the U.S., we do have better medical care. So that could be one of the reasons why our numbers are going down, and we're learning so much more about this. I mean, if you think about it, I've never seen this in any other time in the world where every scientific brain who has anything to do or say about this is actually working on something.
Yeah.
So
that's a good thing.
Saying all that, I mean, yeah, we're seeing therapies coming to the market faster than ever possible.
Right.
So that might help our mortality rate stay lower than initially was expected.
I had mentioned earlier 55 deaths in Ohio for the last 7 days. That's the lowest 7-day death count since this thing began back in March. So that perhaps is a point in the right direction. Monica, thanks. Great information as always.
Sure.
Right now, it is 4 minutes past the bottom of the hour. Russ Mitchell is back at the news desk. He has the big stories making headlines right now. Hi again, Russ.
Hey, Jay, good afternoon to you. And we begin at Kent State at this hour, where another 138 dorm students are quarantining after being in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. Those students will isolate themselves on various floors of Clark Hall, Lake Hall, Manchester, and Allen Hall. And a reminder for you, instead of their second presidential debate tonight, both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are holding town hall meetings. They both begin at 8 o'clock. You can watch President Trump's right here on Channel 3. Joe Biden's will be broadcast on ABC. If you can't catch them both, no worries. We'll have a recap tonight at 11 o'clock. Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. was sent home today from practice because he was not feeling well. Beckham was given a COVID test, but the results will not be known until tomorrow. And a big honor today for 10-year-old Brady Snakowski of Strongsville. President Trump's drug czar, Jim Carroll, stopped in town today to recognize Brady for his charitable work. Brady has raised $315,000 to provide bulletproof vests for police dogs, not just in Ohio, but in other states as well. Brady, much respect to you. Oh my goodness, that is really something what young men did.
It really is. I mean, I love it when I see young people that are active in any kind of good cause, and that certainly qualifies as that.
$315,000 this young man raised. Wow.
Congratulations to him. We should have more like him.
Yep.
Russ, thanks. We'll see you in 24 minutes at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tiffany?
Well, Halloween is right around the corner, and if you are lacking on the decorations, we have something that kids can make at home. We spoke with Kristen Denzer, the founder of Tierra Encada, about an easy Halloween craft kids of any age can make while actually getting a science lesson.
You really only need 3 things, so it's super easy. You need toothpicks, which I think most homes have in their cupboard. You need marshmallows, which hopefully you have some left over from s'mores. Now with the marshmallows, you can do the really small ones. This is really good for a bit older kids, so maybe 4+. Or you can do the really big jumbo ones, and that's really good for that toddler, 2-3-year-old age range. So with this project, what the kids will do is they will create a spider web. So this is actually something that's awesome because they can keep them busy for a very long time, especially if they get very elaborate with the structures. So very simple. They're just going to attach the toothpicks to the marshmallows and just keep doing that as they build a structure. And so this really helps with those engineering skills, but then also just thinking about how they want to create their web, what they want it to look like. And you'll see when they're done, you'll have some kids that will get a little, more basic web, especially the younger ones. But then the older kids tend to get pretty elaborate with it, and they'll create, very large creations. And so it's really cool to see the different things that they'll come up with this basic, simple activity.
Definitely pretty cool there. And we're going to tell you about what a local doctor had to say about Browns coach Kevin Stefanski during the governor's press conference today. We have a hit for you, too. It's actually good news, Jay.
Awesome. And Will Ewick is live at a new restaurant that's creating warm and socially distant outdoor dining. Hi, Will.
Yeah, Jay, a bit of a rarity during COVID-19 to see a new restaurant opening. Betts right here has opened in the last couple of months. They do breakfast, they do lunch, they do dinner. They even have 24-hour grab and go. But that's not why we're here today, because as you mentioned, Cleveland, the weather can change on a dime. How would you like to eat in a patio even in the dead of winter? They think they have the solution with these greenhouse dining patios. We're going to take you inside coming up after the break.
Hey, Will, it's good to see you. Hopefully you're staying dry and warm because it's chilly this evening and we have those rain showers out there. We're going to let you know when the rain will end and how cold it's going to get before the weekend arrives. That's all coming up.
Matt Standridge is back to take a look at the forecast. And Matt, earlier I saw your numbers up there, and I'm a silver lining kind of guy. I'm looking for that bright, positive note. And I did see in your forecast that there is at least 170 in there. So that's what I'm going to focus on. That's my circle day on the calendar right now.
Now, once we get to this time of year, we're trying to figure out how many 70s we can even put on a 7-day forecast. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where we don't have really any 70s on the 7-day forecast anymore. But I got to talk about the rainfall that's going out there right now. I want to show you what's going on with the radar. Currently, we just have light showers area-wide, and we haven't picked up that much rain. A lot of us have only picked up a couple hundredths of an inch, maybe up to about 1/10 of an inch in downtown Cleveland, a little bit more towards the north and west towards Erie County. And then the further south and east you go, we really haven't had all that much in Carroll County and Stark County. And we'll continue this light rain for much of the evening. There's the front. It's actually cleared most of us. So if you walk out the door, it's kind of chilly. Most of us have dipped into those 40s and 50s. There's the front kind of overall. Those northwest winds are setting up. Now you watch that whole band of rain. It's right over us right now, but as we progress throughout the overnight hours tonight, eventually that rain will fall apart and press into Pennsylvania, and then we just got to deal with the cooler air that's on the backside, so we'll be watching that pretty closely. Here's a closer look at some of these temperatures right now, area-wide. We're in the upper 40s right now. Once you head closer towards the lakeshore, some low 50s here and there, trying to hold on in Dover and in downtown, 48 in Mansfield. Pretty cool out there. Your patio forecast, pretty cloudy. It's not the best to be out there, but at least the rain's not too heavy. And honestly, it's kind of one of those rains when you're driving that the road spray from other cars is kind of heavier than the actual rain that's falling, but we'll continue the light rain throughout the evening hours. Tomorrow, we may start with an isolated shower, especially close to the lakeshore, but throughout the day, I think the clouds are going to decrease. Yeah, it's going to be cool. We're only going to get to the low 50s. Most of the day will probably be spent in those 40s, but it's going to be chilly overall, but I think we'll eventually get some sunshine. Headed to the lakeshore, the waves may be just a hair calmer. Yesterday, we had really calm waves. Then today, we had a lot of white capping. We'll have some smaller waves tomorrow. Here's your National Zymer hour-by-hour forecast. The front continues to push off towards the east. We'll still have some of these light showers, eventually clearing out as we progress towards midnight. Now, tomorrow morning, there could be a stray shower out there, but overall, we'll trend drier. And then slowly throughout the day, we'll get a little bit more sun. But you notice the temperatures are really trying to struggle. We may briefly hit the 50s and then back into the 40s, but there is a little bit of that warmer air on the way. Jay was mentioning it. We do have it by the middle of next week. This time of year, we have so many swings. We kind of have front whiplash. Sometimes it's a cold front, sometimes a warm front, but they follow each other only with 2 days in between. So this weekend, we get a little bit of that warm front back into the 50s, maybe some slow 60s. Jay, for the start of next week, it gets cold again, but then we go right back being up towards 70 degrees. Now, you don't see it on the 7-day forecast, but after that 70, we'll probably drop into some 40s. So it's on and off constantly this time of year.
Yeah, I'm going to hold tightly to that last 70-degree day because it's going to be a long time before we see it again. Matt, thank you very much. We'll see you at 7 on Front Row.
Maybe we can make that Groundhog's Day or something like that. I'd like that. Well, as the weather gets colder, fewer people will want to eat outside at restaurants. So the new restaurant, Betts, in the Kimpton in downtown Cleveland, well, they have something a bit different, right? They've installed private clear greenhouses.
All right, certainly an interesting concept. They offer customers a chance to eat in a socially distant environment while staying warm. Our Will Ewick is there right now with a first look inside. Will, so how big are these greenhouses? I saw some that look like it's just over like a 2-top. So a table for 2, but how big can they go?
Jay, welcome to the future. I mean, a couple of years ago, if I said outdoor dining in Cleveland in December and January, you would have thought I was crazy. But here at the Kimpton Schofield Hotel, Betts' new restaurant, as Tiffany mentioned, you don't know where that's at. It's right across the street from Heinen's here on East 9th. But you mentioned the size. Well, they have some bigger, some smaller. Some of them can fit up to about 6 people. Others fit up to about 2 people. You get your temperature checked before you go in. You go in and they have these heaters set up to keep it at a pretty comfortable level, 67 degrees or so. So even if it's very, very cold outside, you come in here and it's nice and warm, and that's what it is, nice and warm at 70 degrees in here for Jason, the GM, and I to sit here, have a brew, and talk about this. So, Jason, give me an idea. Where did this concept come from, this outdoor greenhouse dining here in downtown Cleveland?
Yeah, we needed a way to expand our indoor seating and kind of, we're in Cleveland, so how are we going to do it? So we took our inspiration from some big cities, New York, Chicago, brought a little bit of that right here to downtown Cleveland.
So the greenhouses are very cool. You get your temperature checked. I mentioned that you have the space heaters here to keep it at about 70 degrees so you're a little bit more comfortable. But you also sanitize in between each. You block them out for 2 hours. So you and I would have this for 2 hours right now. But then you sanitize it in kind of a special way. Talk about that.
Exactly. So we have an ionizer that we use throughout the hotel and throughout our restaurant. It's actually just a fine mist that will kill everything. It kills the COVID virus within 5 minutes. So we will spray each one of these between uses and go back and wipe it down, and everything is completely sanitized and ready to go. So.
And you have, what is it, 3 of these for 2 people and 3 for 6, or what's
even
the
more than that? So we have 9 total. So 6 small ones for 2 people, 3 big ones for 4 to 6 people.
2-hour time blocks, and if people are going, oh, that looks really cool, I want to try it, but what is Betts? Give us an idea of what is Betts. You do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you do so really kind of conforming to anybody's diet.
You got it. So we're whole food based. We've been open just over 2 months now, and very unique to Cleveland. So our menu is whole food based, all locally sourced, responsibly sourced. And it is, you can have a keto diet or vegan diet, vegetarian, gluten-free, but we also, we call it healthy indulgence. There's also those burgers with a bacon jam and steaks and everything you need. So anything you like, it's available at Betts.
So there you go, Betts. And Jay, I got to tell you, again, East 9th, right here across from Heinen's, if you don't know where it's at. The added side note, the cherry on top, you dine inside of a greenhouse. I can maybe grow some fresh basil right here and put it on top of my food if you're so inclined. So really, they're thinking of everything here. But I got to tell you, it's pretty comfortable here. I could take my jacket off right now, and it is kind of chilly. I think it's 48, 50 degrees. Matt may correct me on that, but it's about 70 in here, and it feels pretty nice.
It's 51 outside right now. Mother is the necessity of invention, or necessity is the mother of invention. We know that. So about 30 people, I'm thinking, Will, around the holiday season, how cool will it be to sit down there, really right on the street, and enjoy a beautiful meal in a nice, comfortable environment, but it feels like you're outside.
Yeah, especially you think about downtown lit up at night with the lights and everything. Yeah. You could sit down here in the middle of December and you got this turned up. You close everything up, and you're really you're basically sitting in downtown Cleveland having a nice meal. They got these nice twinkle lights set up here, so it already feels like Christmas out here in downtown Cleveland.
And I think the cool thing is that there are so many other restaurants doing similar things, right? We already know there's that restaurant, I can't think of the name, in Lakewood, already has something similar. And then that Cleveland Metro Parks restaurant that's down there by the Cuyahoga River, they're also going to be doing igloos like that this season. Georgetown, thank you, Vince, my producer in my ear, helping me with the name of that one. But then also, the Cleveland Metro Parks restaurant there on the river, they're also doing the same thing. So it's good to see the creativity, and that these restaurants are going to try to continue to do what they do, even during these colder temperatures.
Pretty neat. Will, thanks. We'll see you soon.
Well, and the cool thing about it is, you guys mentioned it, is...
Sorry, Will, we got to run. Thanks, though. We appreciate it. What's new? Coming right back.
Next
Stay
time,
with us.
Will. Yep.
for today's Clicking in Cleveland, we start with Thanksgiving during the pandemic. So Dr. Anthony Fauci is warning that Americans may have to cancel Thanksgiving plans in an effort to keep coronavirus from spreading. So we asked you on Twitter, yes or no, is your family canceling Thanksgiving this year? And boy, you let us know exactly how you feel. Janice says no, she's not canceling, but she will keep it small and personal, hoping to go back to normal next year. Aren't we all, Janice? And Janine says she's keeping it just to her immediate family and mother-in-law, but to spread love and not coronavirus, she is going to take containers of food to others who would have normally come over. That's a good idea too. And so Renee, she has a completely different take. She says no. She is not canceling anything, not Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. All right, so Browns coach Kevin Stefanski got a big shout out during Governor Mike DeWine's news conference today. Dr. David Margolis with Metro Health used Stefanski when talking about the importance of wearing a mask. He brought up Stefanski's efforts to keep everyone around him safe.
If you're going to spend time with people, spend time safely. Look at Coach Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. When he wears that mask, it's there. He's doing it. And I think many other examples exist where you really can be around other people and you can do it safely.
As far as the NFL is concerned, the league has already rearranged some games because of outbreaks among teams. So far, no cases on the Browns. Of course, we're waiting to see what happens with Odell Beckham there, too, with that test that's coming out tomorrow, Jay.
And we heard today that 4 Atlanta Falcons tested positive. They have shut down their facility. As we're moving further and further into the season, I have to say, Tiffany, I'm an optimist most times. I don't see how the NFL navigates its way through this. Hey, earlier this week, we had the Cavs team chef, Terry Bell, on the program. He showed us how to make these super healthy donuts. Says he makes them for the players and they love them. So he gave us the recipe. I tried them, and I have to tell you, they turned out fantastic, Tiffany. In fact, Chef Terry asked me to take a picture of them and send it to him, which I did, and there they are. Now, my drizzle skills are horrible, okay? It doesn't look great.
That looks fancy.
But I got to tell you, TT, these things were great. I mean, they turned out, they tasted just like his.
Okay.
And if you want to try it, the full interview and the recipes on our website, WKYC.com, I promise they are super easy to make.
Okay. Well, JC, I was told to ask you a certain question. Wanted to see how you'd respond.
Go ahead.
Who did the most, you or your wife?
My wife. And that's a true story. But I did do the drizzle.
Figured.
I did the drizzle, which wasn't great. We're back to wrap up What's New right after this. Stay with us.
I still do. Are you there? All right. Halfway there.
I still gotcha. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Thanks.
Mic check testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check.
We wrap up this edition of What's New with our Show Us Something Good. Cheetahs and humans can be a volatile mix, we know that, but not in this case. This man in a wheelchair, for some reason, poses absolutely no threat to the cheetah who just can't get enough of his love and attention. It is a remarkable piece of video. I found this today. Tiffany, not sure when it was or even where it was, but honestly, I don't think the details matter much. It put a smile on my face, and I hope it did yours as well. Pretty cool.
Definitely did. Jay, it was great to be here with you today.
Always great to be with you, Tiffany. Thanks for watching What's New.
What matters most is what